In this video, we are going to rock translating real-world situations into inequality expressions, and then we're going to graph them. I've given you a plethora of examples, 5 of them, plethora meaning a bunch of different examples, to cover you. So let's dive into it. We've got that the speed limit is 60 miles per hour. So what does that mean? Well, that means that our speed could be 60 or less. So that sounds like less than or equal to, but before we get to that, we need to define a variable here for the thing we're measuring, the speed. So I'm going to let s equal the speed that we're going. So that's speed. Now from here, we've got an inequality. Our speed can be 60 or less. So the speed is less than or equal to 60. So s is less than or equal to 60. And I just want to point out that there are multiple solutions to this. Your speed could therefore be 0 miles per hour. It could be 4 miles per hour or 52 miles an hour, and it would all fall within that inequality. It could even be a decimal. It could be 52.7 miles per hour. So how do we graph this out? Well, we're going to go back, and I'm actually going to translate 2 at a time and then go back and graph each one. That way you get a nice drill of first how to translate into an inequality, and then you can drill graphing. It's a good way to practice things, one major idea at a time. Okay, here we have you must be at least 17 to see this movie. So at least means 17 or more. Sounds like greater than or equal to. Let's get to first defining this. So it's our age that we're defining. So I'm going to let A equal your age. And our age must be 17 or more. So age is greater than or equal to 17. So your age could be 17 and a half. It could be 17. It could be 18. It could be 35. It could be 100. And that would all be solutions to that inequality. All right, so now how do we graph these kinds of situations? Well, less than or equal to. It's an interesting way that we show that, but I think it makes a lot of sense. So we put out a number line like this. And let's say we put the number 60 up here. You don't have to list all the numbers. A lot of teachers like to just put 0. So I'll put a 0 there. And if you're just strictly graphing this inequality, the speed is less than or equal to 60, or equal to means we put a closed circle at 60 to show we're including the value of 60, but we want all the numbers less than it. So I shade in the number line part. That would be all the numbers that make this true, all the numbers that are less than or equal to 60. That would be all of these numbers here. Now I'm actually going to stop the problem at 0 because you can't have negative speeds. But any speeds in this interval, 0 to 60, work for us, as we talked about earlier in the video. Some teachers teach it this way. They say if the variable's on the left, the direction in which the inequality sign is pointing is the way that you shade. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a bigger fan of understanding that you're taking all numbers less than or equal to 60. Here, less than or equal to it. Okay, let's do the age is greater than or equal to 17. So in this case, we've got a number line again, and we're going to graph that out. And we'll start at 0. And because age can't be negative, again, I am not going to continue the number line past 0. And then we have the age 17. That's what you could call your boundary. It's or equal to 17. So we say you could be 17 and watch it. Or greater, so that would be all numbers greater than 17, so you shade everything to the right. All right, beautiful. Now, let's take a look at these other examples. I think it's good that you keep watching this video so you see all the different ways we could do this. But this, and that last little bit, gave you a real in-depth understanding of what to do. So we'll keep rolling. You play guitar for more than 4 years. So let's say that y is the number of years. So y equals the number of years you play guitar. Well, you play for more than 4 years, which means y is more than, greater than 4. So y is greater than 4. And that's it as far as the inequality goes. Again, I'm going to do 2, maybe 3 at a time, and then go back and graph them all. A school has less than 450 students. So S would be the number of students that we have. So it'd be number of students. And then you have that the number of students is less than 450. So number of students is less than 450. It's a beautiful thing. Let's keep drilling these translations. Number 5, the temperature is -7 degrees Fahrenheit or less. So we're doing temperature, so I'll do T equals temperature. I'll just write down temp. Then we're saying that that temperature is -7 or less. That would be like saying the temperature is less than or equal to -7. So t is less than or equal to -7. All right, so we're going to go back and graph each one of these, and then we'll be done. So y is more than 4. So I write out my number line, like so. You've got 0 right here, and I'll darken that a little bit. And then you've got 4 as your boundary or your border. Now, we've been playing guitar, or you've been playing guitar for more than 4 years, which means we do not include the 4. To represent that, we use an open circle. That means, whoa, bro, hands off 4. We don't include that. Then from there, you want all the years more than 4. So you've got a bunch of different solutions that could work there. That means you could have been playing for 5 years, 4.27 years, 33 years, any number strictly more than 4. This says the number of students is less than 450. So again, I'm going to start our number line at 0 because you can't have negative students. And then our boundary, or our border, I'll put it arbitrarily here at 450. If we have less than 450 students, that means we don't include the 450, so again, an open circle. And then we have less than 450. That'd be all students before 450 in the number line, so we shade all these values. Beautiful. And finally, the temperature is less than or equal to -7, so now that number line can go on forever in both directions, temperature-wise. So I'll put 0, and then your border at -7. Now that is less than or equal to -7, so we would include the -7 with a closed circle. That symbolizes we include the -7 or all the numbers less than it, which would be all the numbers less than -7 on the number line. There you have it, folks, how to translate inequalities in real-world situations and how to graph them. Awesome stuff.